Greetings and welcome to another excellent World of Tanks video. You may have noticed that there's an event going on called the Super 10s. Well, they also have a bunch of Tier 10 tanks on sale, quote unquote, in the store. But it's such a horrible thing that I thought I would mention it to you here and explain to you why I don't waste my time with it. And after you see this video, you may decide not to waste your time either. The basic crux of the deal is that Tier 10s are a scam. And you might be wondering, why would you say that? Well, I would only say it because it's true. Now I'm going to explain this to you, why I say this. But before I do, please consider leaving a like and tell your friends about this video so they can see this and judge for themselves. So the reason I say Tier 10s are a scam, essentially, you may or may not agree, but that's okay. It's because the scam of the game is universal. You play Tier, I don't know, let's just say Tier 3. You play Tier 3. They throw you into matches where you're completely outmatched. So what do? Like a good little stooge, you say, well, I'm going to get me a Tier 4. And I'm going to be able to kill those guys. Yeah, well, except for the same thing happens again. The numbers are changed. You were a Tier 3 and ran into a Tier 4 that annihilated you. So you thought getting a Tier 4 would solve the problem. Now, actually, that is the closest you'll ever get to solving that problem. Because Tier 4 tanks, in my observation, face Tier 5s less than any other tank faces higher tanks. So that's just a bonus for you right there. So Tier 4 is the closest you get to a solution. The scam is this. You play Tier blank. Somebody comes along with Tier blank +1, and since they're a mechanically superior tank to yours, you usually get annihilated. And like a good little sheep, you think, well, I'll just get one of those Tier blank +1s and then I'll be the big dog. Well, yeah, it's all good until you hit the next one. When you're now you're in Tier blank +1 and you face Tier blank +2s. So it's like saying you're in a 3, you get a 4. You go, I'll be a 4 and I'll be the top dog. And then your 4 runs into 5s and they are just annihilating you. And you get a 5. And then a 5 runs into a 6. I'm not even going to the point where the 5 runs into a 7 and you get super annihilated. That is so gratuitously wrong that in the beginning, when 3s would sometimes face 5s, they stopped that. It was just grotesquely wrong. They stopped 3s playing 5s and for the most part, 4s playing 6. There's a few exceptions where 4s can still play 6s. Saw it the other day. It was a shocker. I don't remember which ones. There's like 2 tanks in 4s that can play 6s. But essentially, when you're in Tier blank and the guy has Tier blank +2, they're basically cheating you blind. You can agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. But if you can't see that they're cheating you blind, I can't help you. It's just that simple. I'm like Master Poe. Master Poe, how can you see that? How is it, Grasshopper, that you cannot? Is my answer to you. Master Poe was a legend to my generation. And so your 4 goes to 5s, 5 go to 6s, 6 goes to 7s, 7s goes to 8s, 8s go to 9s. And here's where this new scam comes in. The new scam is, well, I'll get a 9. That way I'll be able to handle the 9s when I face them. Yeah, except 9s, if you'll notice, have no silver bonus at all. The premium 9s, for example. I'm not talking about Tech Tree. No Tech Tree tank has a premium bonus or has a silver bonus. Premium 9s have no silver bonus. Premium 10s also have no silver bonus. So what it boils down to is that there's always a scam running. You're a 4 playing 5s. The 5s are overpowering your tank. You're in a Panzer 3J, which is a 4, and you run into a Panzer 5-4, a monster tank. You'll just eat the Panzer 3J for lunch. And so you don't make any silver in those matches. And it gets up to 9s and 10s. You don't make any silver unless you have a really, really good game. So you can't just say, well, I'm using this premium tier 4 and I'm going to play against tier 5s. And you have premiums, a lot of them will have a silver bonus. And so you can make money by using premium bullets. That runs out at 9 and 10. At 9 and 10, use premium bullets, good, go right ahead. You can't afford it for very long. You're going to lose money. And that's another scam. Now we've seen this tank sitting here for a while. Well, let's choose something different. I don't know. Here's a Centurion AVRE. That's good. So here's the deal with your premium scam. Who in the hell sells you a tank with bullets that really don't help you much? Regular bullets. They're so inferior, or are they? That's another scam. But they're so inferior that you have to use premium bullets to have a guaranteed chance of penetration. That's a scam. And the scam that you're getting to where you can't make any money unless you are literally perfect. It's scam after scam after scam. And if you eat this up thinking this is normal, you have never played any other game that was any good on any console ever. It's just that simple. Now you can, play certain tanks and have good games, etc. But if you want to play a steady diet of 10s, you're going to have to pay them for that quote-unquote privilege of them robbing you blind. And maybe you are kind of guy that likes being robbed blind. I'm not. So once I saw the scam, I can never unsee it. And that's what I tell people. Once you see the scam, you can't unsee it. So the Super 10s. Let's go look at the Super 10s, shall we? I'm going to blow this thing wide open. WW2 tanks. Hey, Super Savings. Folk T44-100. Don't need it. Oh, Super Savings. T23E3. Don't need it. T34-3. Now, I'll earn it for free, but I certainly don't need to pay you for it. Don't need it. See how it works? Churchill AVRE Tier 7. Well, I have that tank, but not the loaded or the ultimate. Don't waste your time and money. If you're going to get it, it's a decent tank, but I'll give it to you what Brownie gives it. Brownie says, hey, that's a Tier 6 tank, with a, in a Tier 7, whatever categorization. It's an okay tank. It's not really great, but it's okay. It's kind of fun to play because when you hit guys, they are hit. So that's okay. Now, look at this double tap TS Tier 9. Don't need it. I don't need any of that stuff. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now, look at Super 10s. Object 260. No. No on Object 268. T95E6. No. Super 10s. VK72. No. VK168. No. What are you saying? That's not a Super 10. That's a wallet saver. Doesn't matter. I still don't need it. Tiger 1 A18 Czechoslovakian with an autoloader. That's a very fun tank to play. So that one's pretty good. Super 10s. Yeah, FV 4201 Chieftain. Don't need it. Super 10s. Object 907. Don't need it. Now, there's another thing that I'll tell you. There's tanks for free experience. Only Tier 10s, though. And if you got 450,000 plus experience, go right ahead. Nothing wrong with that. It's not cost you any money. Now, there's exceptions to every general rule in this game. The general rule is that Tier 10s are going to rob you blind, but there are exceptions. And there are some that are fun to play as long as you recognize that you're going to be playing into their scam. So if you like it, hey man, more power to you. I got no problems with that. I just like to let people know what they're in for so they can see it for themselves. So let's just grab one of these, okay? T95E6. Well, I told you. Silver bonus 100. What does that mean? That means you earn regular money. Tank experience bonus 5%. 105 means you earn 5% tank experience bonus. Whoop-de-doo. Commander experience bonus 100% means you earn 100% of normal commander experience. There's no bonus. Free experience bonus 5. That's pretty standard. There's a few tanks that have more than 5, but for the premiums, free experience bonus is 5%. So yay. I don't know why, you could use the tank XP bonus for operations if that's what you want to do. You never see anyone doing operations in a tier 10 because it's stupid. You don't make enough. Here, let me show you. This will be fun. No, that's not it. Here we go. Watch this. YU. There we go. Gee, Duke, why did you choose this Churchill 3? Well, I'm about to show you. Woohoo! This is the Churchill 3, Tier 5. Silver bonus 158. 58% more than your normal tank, scoring. You're going to have 58% silver bonus. Tank experience bonus. Well, you remember how that Tier 10 had a 105? This tank has a 178. It's a monster for earning tank experience in operations. So the Churchill 3 is an awesome tank. Commander experience, none. Free experience, 5, the same as that Tier 10. Okay? So that's killer. Also, you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner in that orange stripe, under where it says Churchill 3 in the red with a red flag, orange stripe, below that says plays up to Tier 6. Now, they use Roman numerals because most Americans don't know what Roman numerals mean. I'm just telling you the reality. I mean, if I was going to run a scam, that's the scam I would run. It's a Tier 5, but it plays up to Tier 6, meaning it's tier preferential. It doesn't play 7s. Okay? That's what that means. So, this tank has a monstrously high tank experience bonus. Fantastic. Let me show you one that has a great, not a silver bonus. It does, but it's got a great silver bonus. Oops, there we go. Let's try this. Oops, that's not the right one. There we go. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Alrighty. Now here's a monster for you. Silver bonus 181. That's 81% more than normal. This is the American Sexton 1 Tier 3 artillery. Tank experience bonus also very good, 160, meaning 60% more on operations. So, yes, I've been known to make 100 grand in this tank in one match without using a booster. Now you have to score, 1,1300 plus damage, but it is gettable. But this is, just to show you the disparity between really useful tanks and Tier 10 garbage. But you have a lot of Tier 10s. Well, I have quite a few, actually. I bought the Iron Arnie to go with the Arnold Commander, which is cool because, I like Arnold. He's cool. So this tank is a pretty fun tank to play. I play it from time to time, not very much, but this is an exception to the rule. It's a very good medium tank, fun to play. And it's exactly the same as the one he has. His tank has the graphics that you see. It's fantastic. So, you want to play that Arnie tank? Well, this is the one you play. You know, there's the Arnold emblem right there. And, you know, this is the tank he drove when he was in the Austrian army. Before he became famous, obviously. But in general, this game represents a huge scam if you don't know what you're doing. You walk right into their scam. You know, I get people, oh man, and one of my friends did this, and it was really shocking to me. It was like, oh, well, you know, I got destroyed in this match, and he was using some garbage tank. And I'm like, why are you using that garbage tank? Well, I'm trying to get that red stripe. You see the red stripes on these tanks? Daily double, plus 100% experience. I go, well, that's a scam. They're robbing you. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. Let's look at this for a second. That's a good tank. Now, this tank is okay. Not really very good, objectively. When you run into fours with this M2 medium, they're going to annihilate you. You don't have a chance. Okay, some tanks have a chance against the next tier up. Some do not. This sniper tank is a good tank. You can kill those people if you see them first. In a sniper, you have a chance of beating higher tier tanks if you have first discovery on them. Same thing with artillery. So artillery and snipers can be extremely valuable against tier blank +1. Medium 3, very good tank, strong gun, not really a chump tank. Valentine, I wouldn't run it. Panzer 1C is a chump tank, but it's great for speed and observation as a scout, you know, getting detections. But it's not going to beat a tier 4 at anything, maybe in speed, on, you know, in a race like that, but you don't want to get in a battle. Any tier 4 will eat this for candy. It will just eat it for candy. So only an expert light tank player can get away with using a Panzer 1C against blank +1. And it's usually not a good idea. I don't run it myself, but I have run it for spotting, just for fun. You know, this is garbage. This is garbage. Now, again, this is garbage in the context of blank +1. At tier 3, the tier 3s are okay, fine, no problem. S-35 is very good. This tank is actually a little bit better than a tier 3. You might want to call this tier 3.4 or tier 3.5. This tank can actually kill some 4s. It's not going to overpower most of them, but it can do the job. So it's like, this one's better than average. And if you really are good at this tank, it's really good. So, you know, Gross Tractor, this is the basic tier 3. This is the tier preferential. Well, they're all, I mean, the 3s play 4s. Okay, so yeah, it's preferential like that, but it's not really, it doesn't play only 3s. Martyr 2, weak. This tank is weak against 4s. However, once again, if with first spotting, you could theoretically kill guys, but you're not going to overpower them. The reload on this gun is way too slow. In fact, it's so bad, I don't even use it against tier 3s. I would just go ahead and use this one here, the Pak 40. This is much better. Now, it's slower than dirt. But again, this is in the right situation, you could call this a 3.7 or a 3.8 tank. It's actually good. Artillery, once again, crushing, potentially. This one's a little weak, not so great against 4s. It's okay. Again, artillery, same story. BT5, your meat. BT7, your meat. M3 light, meat. This is meat again. None of these tanks are really any good. This is the fast, spotter, but the problem with this tank is it is fast, but it's long. The Panzer 1C is better because the Panzer 1C is about 75% of the length of this tank. It's a much smaller target. So just giving you the heads up. So basically, you see a bunch of garbage. This red stripe trap. Su-76I, very good tank. one of the best tier 3 snipers. But you're going to have you have a hard time with tier 4s. Artillery, once again, okay. This one is okay again. First spotting, you can crush guys. Garbage. This is probably the best tier 3 tank. It's a 3.7 or a 3.8 on my scale. If you know what you're doing, you can crush people. So when people tell me this story, they were trying to do daily doubles. I'm like, dude, daily doubles is only for people. If you're in a platoon of guys and one guy wants to work daily doubles, or if all your guys are really good, you could do it. But if you're just an average player, you can't do it. You're going to get annihilated. And you can do it until you get annihilated and go, you know what? He told me I was going to get annihilated, and I got annihilated by tier blank +1. Okay, just wanted to give you a basic overview on tier 3s, ones that I use. I mean, I don't use most of these. These are just tanks that sit around. I got them for free. Whatever, dude. Thresher's literally a free tank. It's a contract tank. I got the Locust Actually, I got the Locust from, I want to say, the first anniversary for free from, they gave it to everybody. It's not really great, but if you know how to use it, it's really, really good and annoying. So, stuff like that. M2 medium, from the beginning days, that kind of stuff. T3 convertible, that was given to us for free 2022, if I remember correctly. So I can't remember where all these came from, but Tech Tree, this is a Tech Tree Priest. Sexton, US Sexton is a premium tank. I bought this and it was worth because I played a match against this guy who was awesome, and after the match he told me about it, and I said, okay, deal. He convinced me. He was awesome in the match. I did win the match, but he was still awesome. I was the best player in that match. He was the second best player on the other team. He killed like 7 or 8 guys, and I killed 10. At the end, it got to me and another guy against him, but I was a sniper, and I had sniper against a lone artillery. It's not a fair fight, so I should win that. So that's the thing. That's a different trap. If you want to replace the word trap with scam, daily doubles. I don't do daily doubles. I play the things that I'm good at, or if I'm working on something to get better at it, things of that nature. I don't deviate by playing random garbage. Hey, I'm going to play that Valentine. Why don't I just shoot myself in the foot? I haven't shot myself in the foot before. Don't know how it feels. Pretty sure it hurts. Okay. Some of these tanks are just mediocre tanks. Like Martyr 2 is a mediocre sniper tank. But when you finish the Martyr 2, you get the Martyr 38T, which is an awesome tank. So I guess let's go look at tier 4s since we're here. This will make some sense. M5 Stuart Tech Tree. I don't run this. Don't run the MTLS or the Blitzen. It's a goof around tank. M3 Lee. I am an expert M3 Lee player. Therefore, I can run this tank and have great success in it for some reason. It's just, some tanks you have the knack for it, and I have the knack for this tank. I got this one to run. I could run it, and this will run against tier 5s. It's pretty good. I just don't hardly use it. But it's an experimental tank for me. I don't care for the Vanquisher or the Sentinel. It's the same tank, just that this has got a skin. That's the only difference. Birch gun. This is artillery. You can run this. Obviously, it's very flat on its shot trajectory, which I don't care for personally. But, whatever. As an artillery expert, I notice that stuff. Panzer 3J, outstanding tank. It's against tier 5. You can use this like a light tank. So in tier 5 matches, it goes from being medium tank to light tank. So this one is very useful. Panzer B2. This is a classic super tier preferential. It plays 4s only unless you go into a party with, for example, if you take a B2 and your party platoon guy has a Panzer 3J, the 3J will pull this Panzer B2 into tier 5 matches, and you will get annihilated because the gun is too weak. But in tier 4 matches, this is the biggest dog on the game. Marder 38T. This is another 4.5, maybe, if you had a partial tier, 4.5, 4.6, like that. This is a very, very good tank for those who are experts like myself. I have numerous times been MVP in tier 5 matches in this tank. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. Happened like last week, one time. So this one handles tier blank +1. Hetzer. This is with the 105 gun. This also does the same thing. It's a monster tank. It just has a short vision. Valentine 2. This is a tier preferential that plays only tier 4s unless you're in a platoon with guys that can play 5s. Honor, very good. Tier 4. This can hold its own to a degree against some tier 5s. So this one's not garbage. This is the Honor without the skin. Same tank. A32, absolute butt kicker. This is just like the Panzer 3J. It's a 4, but in a tier 5 match, it's so fast that it becomes a light tank, and it's still effective. It's just not effective as a medium against 5 mediums, but it's effective against anything else. Tier 5 snipers or light tanks or artillery. It's very good. This is a tremendous tank. This is a super tank, actually. So this one plays above its weight limit, as they would say, and does so quite well. Artillery, of course, they work fine. Needle, real solid, but against tier 5 heavies, not as good, but it's all right. It's okay. So this gives you a general idea on tier 4s, just to give you an example. Oh, let's go up to the tier 4. Tier 4 is good because, like I said, in my observation, and I have not made the detailed records because I don't care, to be honest with you. But my observation is that if I'm in a tier 4, I'm going to play 5s less than if I'm in a 5, I'm going to play 6s more often, or 7. I'm going to, in tier 4, the blank +1 happens less than on every other tier. And then when you get to tier 5, I'm saying that, you get blank +1 and you also get blank +2. So 5s play 7s, horrible. 6s play 8s, horrible. 7s play 9s, horrible. 8s play 10s, horrible. That's why I don't go run a lot of tier 8s. I can run tier 8s, but let me show you. Okay, now in tier 8s, I might run specific things for a specific reason, but I just don't run generic tier 8s. I run light tanks or artillery, or in some cases snipers. I run specific medium tanks and specific heavy tanks at tier 8, but very rarely I don't run just generic. I run this one, and this is one of the top tier 8 light tanks in the game. So once I got this, I no longer run this tier 8 light. Freedom is a very good tier 8 tank. You can run this, but if you run against 9s and 10s, you're going to get reamed. So I don't run it very often, but it's a cool tank. Astron Rex, I run this for its commander bonus. I can survive decently in a 8, 9, and 10 match. I have gotten tier 10 MVPs in this tank, but that was a very rare occurrence and low percentage, but it does happen. Nope, never ran it. There's no reason to run it. I run tier 8 medium with a 50% commander bonus. I don't run a tier 8 medium with no bonus. Just that simple. No bonus. 50% commander bonus, and that's just for the tank. So we add a commander, it goes 30% for commander, 10% for the quick learner, and 10% for the rations. It's 100% bonus earner for experience. This one in the Astron Rex and the Holland Hund. So this is a flame tank, special edition. Okay, that's okay to goof around with that. T42, never going to run it. T77, it's an okay tank, but again, you run to 9s and 10s, you're screwed. Don't run Chrysler, ugliest tank. Jesus, this is ugly. Patriot, very good tier 8, and it looks awesome. So I run this because it looks awesome. Sometimes. No Chrysler. Demolisher, I've gotten the tier 10 MVP in this tank, but it's very slow, horrible turret rotation. 75% commander bonus. So, on goof arounds, I've run it for goof around matches. They just don't run it very much. Equalizer, artillery. You can run this all the way up to tier 10. In fact, it was hilarious. Yesterday, I ran tier 10 matches in this. We ran, I had 3 consecutive wins in a row to start off the day with this, and I switched to go run my light tank for goofing around. And I told Bernie, I said, look, regular people would kill to win 3 games in a row. 2 of them were tier 10s in this equalizer, and I scored like $2,000 plus in each one. The only thing a tier 8 artillery does against tier 10s is it scores low because it doesn't get full damage. But I made my presence felt, and I helped my team win in every game. So it's useful. No, this is not for anything except Halloween. Okay, I don't run this. Paladin, awesome looking tank, good tier 8 tank, but you're going to get annihilated by 9s and 10s. Eradicator, good tier 8 heavy tank, 75% commander bonus. It's just average. Got it for free, don't care. Got this for free, got a refund on it. That's why I own it. But it's a sniper tank. You could use this, it'd be all right, probably. G-SOAR, refund tank. Got it for free and got a refund. Short range artillery. I don't like this. The range on this is way too short for me. Sorry, not interested. Light tank that I no longer use because I have better light tanks. This is one of the tanks that's better than that, and that is a 90 millimeter gun on my tier 8 Holland Hund. 50% commander bonus. Absolutely awesome tank. Yes, it has been MVP in tier 10 matches. Rare, but it does happen. Don't waste my time. Never played it. Don't care. I don't play tier 8 random tanks. This is a tier preferential, plays up to 9s only, so this is a decent tank. Panther 8.8, which is a Panther 88 millimeter. It's 8.8 centimeters or 88 millimeters. Icebreaker, butt kicker, fun tank to play, looks cool. Had a freaking awesome game in tier 10 that I won the game for us. I wasn't MVP, but I finished off the final tier 10 guy head to head because I played it super smart and I got to that final battle where I was undamaged. I helped my team win that game big time in a tier 8 heavy tank, not my specialty at all, but this tank is a fun tank to play. VK75, this is the Icebreaker without the gray tiger stripe camo. Same exact tank. Never played this one either because I don't need it. If you have the Icebreaker, which looks awesome, I don't need to play this, even though this does look awesome. So if you get this one, I got this in an operation. If you get this for free, play it. It's good. It's the same as the Icebreaker. I got this out of a card and then got a refund on it, so it's a moneymaker for me. King Tiger, super expensive, 14,000 gold. I got it in an operation for free. My favorite price. Solid tank, but I never played it. Scorpion, very good tier 8 sniper tank. Same thing. Kanonenjagdpanzer is what that is. Vanguard, one of the top 3 light tanks at tier 8. This one, the T41E1 and the Holland Hund. These are all butt kickers. I've had monsterly awesome games in the Vanguard, but it plays a specific way. HMH 58. Very good. This is the bigger brother of the Vanguard. Very good tank. The only problem is it's tier 8 and bigger, so it's an easier target. This tank doesn't drive that well. I find it to be very disappointing, but potentially cool. HMH M51 Super Sherman. It's okay. Tier 8. You play 9s or 10s, you're annihilated. You have no chance. Borovsk. This is another one of those tanks like the A32 and the Panzer 3J. This is a medium tank at tier 8. At tier 9 and tier 10, its speed is so good that it behaves as an awesome light tank with better armor. And since it's a medium tank, it has advanced armor. So again, this is another tank that's gotten MVPs. My record for spotting in this tank is over 3,000 points in a tier 10 match. So I'm just throwing this out there. Borovsk is highly useful even at tier 10. Liberté, this is a tier 9 limited tier preferential tank. So this is like the French version of the Patriot. Very good tank, but only plays 9s, doesn't play 10s. This is another tank that was a refund machine for me. Got it for free experience plus some couple of thousand gold, paid off with a 10,000 gold refund. This was an operation tank, got it for free. It's mediocre tier 8 average stuff, Same thing. Guardian, this is a great museum piece, but tier 8, I don't care. Senjutsu, this is another fire tank. Pretty cool. Motherland, actually got this from, what do you call it? Tanker Rewards card. Tanker Rewards General's Chest. So this is an expensive 10,000 gold plus tank. If I get it again, it's a refund. So I got this one for free for Tanker Rewards last month. Well, actually this month, the beginning of January 2024. Scourge, this was a tank of the month, cost me $10. Very good tank. But against 9s and 10s, good luck with that. Defender 252. Now this is the cosmetic butt kicker. There's a regular Defender that's a little bit cheaper. This is another expensive tank. Very, very good. Look at the armor on this. Let me show you. The armor on this is just nasty for tier 8. And that pointy nose of the lower hull makes it super angled no matter where you hit it. IS-3, I don't play it. Object 703 double barrel. Premium. Now this tank is very fun. Good solid tank to play. Kirovets, yeah, another one. I'm not going to play this. I don't care. It's not special enough. This is the first tank, tier 8 sniper tank I got out of a card several years ago. And really good. This will penetrate tier 10s and cause them damage, so it's very good. Got this out of a card. It doesn't do anything for me personally. It's too big. It's like a barn. This is the Shashka. This is a version of the Su-130. Very, very good tank. Great, camo design, etc. Picked this up for Tanks for Free Experience, or actually it was either that or I got it from an operation, but I still haven't played it yet. I'm going to play it at some point. This is basically the same gun as the Slayer, but this is tier 8, meaning it plays up to tier 10, and my Slayer is a tier 7, which goes up to tier 9s, which is not as bad. So, I will play at some point. This is the same thing as the Shashka. This is the Su-130 black, but with the black skin. Artillery, butt kicker. Got a mark of excellence in this tank, just by playing regular matches, because Bernie and I were playing a run. We played so many tier 10 matches, and this tank was awesome in tier 10 matches. I was kicking butt. We won a bunch of games, more than normal, probably 60%. So it wasn't too great for him. He was in a tier 8 sniper. He did okay, but he just numerically it wasn't good because it was 10 and 10 and 10. Me in artillery, I'm scoring, just not as good as if I had a 9 or a 10. M41D, another free tank that I got from Tanker Rewards. This is a Brazilian, a Bulldog variant. Nothing special. It's a refund tank if I ever get another one. Same thing, 59 Patton. Never going to play it. Never going to play this Legion Patton. But it's an okay. It's got 20% commander bonus. King Dragon. Don't play this, but this is a museum piece. It looks awesome. That red color is fantastic, and that gold dragon. Check this out, man. That gold dragon is awesome. So this is a museum piece. I don't play this tank, but I like to look at it. It looks cool. Alpine Tiger, another museum piece. Look at this. The engraving work on the body, it looks fantastic. Of course, being steel, it'd be really hard to engrave that. Death Chariot. Doesn't do much for me personally as a tank, except in Halloween. It's good for 3 weeks of the year. It shoots skull missiles, man, and it's awesome. But in regular, no thanks. You get the general drift. Primo Victoria, we got it for free in the operation, played it. It was all right. Earthshaker, the last of the 75% commander bonus tanks. Tier 8, medium, good solid tank. If you're a medium expert, you could score in this tank. I don't qualify as a medium expert. I'm just okay. This one's too slow for me. Emil, pardon me. Emil, 1951. Tier 8 butt kicker. This will damage tier 10s straight up. This is a butt kicking tank. I like this, but I'm not a heavy tank expert, but this is a really good tank. It's fun to play. All Italian tanks are trash. Sorry, it's just the reality. So, no thanks. TANK is a goof around tank. It's a novelty tank. This tank is useful only as a light tank that is a short range defender. So it defends, against other tanks. Trinity Mark II. This tank is garbage. Slower than dirt, not fun to play at all. I got it from the season. Reaper Scythe, very good tier 8 tank. This is a Warhammer special. Very good. Has that nasty kind of acid shot. But a really good tank. In fact, I played this tank, and one of the matches I played was I got up against that blue, not the blue one, the tier 10 Lehman Russ tank with that frontal wall. It's nasty. But I used the mobility of this tank to get behind him, and I killed that guy straight up. So this tank, this Warhammer tier 8, killed the Warhammer tier 10 straight up when I was on Corellia because I was able to sneak around him with the maneuverability. So I think this is a really good tank. And if I wanted to play some tier 8 medium, this is one of the ones I would play because it's actually good. And that gives you the general idea of how the tier 8s go and why I don't really recommend playing lots of tier 8s unless you're experts at whatever it is you're playing, because you're going to get bad matchups against 9s and 10s. It's just horrible. So, let's go look. I guess the Super 7s aren't available yet, but they will be sometime. Maybe next week. I don't know. Oh, yes, I know. We need to look at the Tanks for Free experience. Whoops, there we go. Alrighty, let's just slide. This is the premium tech tree. Now, if you wonder why I have so many, and I don't have many compared to other people, but I do have a lot. And it's because I do operations. They get, whenever operation comes up like this week, it's the T-34-3. I will get that tank. Brownie already got it in less than 2 days. I wasn't trying, so I don't have it yet, but I'll get it, a day or two. It doesn't matter. It's not going anywhere. All right, these gray backgrounds, these are Tanks for Free experience, or in a couple of cases, I need the money for Rocket Tank. So I sold that Chinese tier 10 sniper tank, I can buy it back for 9 million silver. So it's just a loan that I took out. It's no big deal. I'm never going to play that tank anyway, so who cares? And they're not going to give it to me in a chest, so it won't make me silver and it won't make me gold, so it means nothing to me. Now, if they have another one of those trade-in operations and it's available to trade in, I'll trade it in. Get rid of it. Same thing with T-58 Heavy. It's a good tank, but I don't need it. I have a better heavy tank. That's a medium, that's Centurion. But all these other gray ones are all 450,000 silver. Not silver, sorry. Free experience. As you see, I have only about a third of that, so I'm not going to get any of those. I wouldn't get any of these because I don't want them. This Object 780 we got from the season. This is a butt-kicking tier 10 tank. Now let me show you why. Whoops. Here we go. Look at that armor. From the front, good luck penetrating that. So this dude is a butt-kicking tank for a heavy tank. I've had good results in this tank because it's actually good. I've seen guys do even better than me. My best was like 2 kills. I saw a guy, though, play this like a master. He got 5 kills in that tank. That was an awesome tank. This is another Warcraft right here. This is a tier 9. So the thing is, in fact, this is a tier 9 light tank, the only premium light tank at tier 9 in the game. As a light tank expert, that's why I needed this tank. And it's very good. And a really good light tank, you can play those against tier 10s if you're a light tank expert like I am. So know what you're good at and know what you're limited at. I don't want to play tier 8 mediums and heavies in general and you know, against 10s because it's just not a good matchup for me. It's great when you're a master of those tanks. And the thing is, the reason as a non-master of mediums and heavies, I'm more likely to make a mistake that gets me annihilated than as someone who's an actual expert like Bernie or Fish or Brownie. They're experts at mediums and heavy tanks, so that's the difference. It's good, you know, to be positive about your abilities, but don't be delusional. I don't run, you know, tier 8 and 9 heavies and mediums because this is not my forte, okay? I have decent success. I'm a good average, maybe above average player in mediums and heavies. That's not where I make my money. I do it in light tanks and artillery and snipers. So know what you're good at. But I don't care about tier 10s. People play tier 10s. I'm like, hey, more power to you, but don't complain to me that you know had bad whatever, because it's part of the scam that they run on people. And the propaganda for tier 10 is grotesque. The propaganda is, well, you should be playing tier 10s. You know why they tell you that? The two kinds of people that tell you that are either someone who's very good, who plays tier 10s and, you know, likes, they have to be, they're required to be the top dog. Okay, and that's what the deal is. And a really good tier 10 player is going to annihilate inferior tier 10 players. They're going to annihilate the tier 9 and tier 8 guys that show up as well. So it's self-serving. They tell you to play tier 10s because it's that the propaganda is self-serving for them. You know, I can think of one obvious YouTube guy who always tells people to play tier 10s. Well, guess what? He's serving himself. He's not helping you. He's hoping that you show up in his game so he can eat you for breakfast. Play whatever's good for you. Now, the other guy who tells you to play tier 10 is the lemming. The tier 10 propaganda spewer's lemming. he teaches them that you're not really a good player if you're not playing tier 10. And so the lemmings will pass along his words because they'll say, oh, hey, Mr. Whoever, he shall remain nameless. I told these guys to play tier 10s, and he tells them what he told them. And he said, basically, I gave them the propaganda spiel so that they'll play tier 10s. Or some other tier 8s, tier 9s, whatever they're to work into the propaganda abuse system that they have created. I'm a free thinker. I do what I want to do. I don't care about them. And they know what? They never show up in my matches. You know why? Because I'm playing for fun. I don't have to be top dog. But then I don't also have to go and be top dog to have a chance to beat people that I'm not going to beat any other way. So I play, whatever, a lot of Cold War as well. I play what I'm good at. I play what I enjoy. And if you're not good at it and you don't enjoy it, don't play it. It's really not complicated. Don't be the dummy, the lemming for a propaganda guy. Do what you want to do. If you want to play something that's unpopular, play it. If someone tries to give you lip for it, let me tell you for a personal fact, these guys ain't giving anybody any lip man to man, because guess what? Whenever they show up to a man-to-man confrontation, they're a man short. It's just that simple. These guys will all talk big online, hundreds of miles away. They don't say jack squat to anyone about tier 10. You're never going to see a tier 10 propaganda guy in person. And if I did, I'd tell him where he could stick it, with mustard. Because I know propaganda, and I know his scam. And I know he ain't going to do anything because he's not good enough. When I'm talking good enough, I'm talking about something they don't teach in this game. So, I don't have problems with these guys at all. They're jokes to me. I do my thing, and I tell people to do their thing and play for enjoyment. If you're not enjoying it, don't play it. Go do something else. It's really fun. I played in the tank you see in the background by the 001 on the wall. That is my tier 2 Panzerjäger 1 tank destroyer. That's the best tank I have. Why is it the best tank I have? Because it's a tank that plays with the least deviation from the way it would actually play in the real world. None of these tanks operate correctly. When you're in a war with equally matched tanks, you're not bouncing shots hardly ever. This game bounces like so many, it's ridiculous. That's a fraud. That is a cheat, actually. Here's another one. Let me show you. This is a great one. All right, let's go look here. This is some good stuff. Let me show you a classic. Panzer IIIJ will work. What do we got in here? Let's look at the commander. Herr General Erwin Rommel. What do we have here? Well, we got reload, we got aim. No tank aim is this bad. What is a tank aim in this game? This is maxed out. My aim is .32. There's no army that runs a tank that shoots that terrible. None. That is a fraud. I'll tell you one of the stories. A Tiger tank that was captured by the British. They took it to one of their British tank sergeants. At a range of at least 1,000 meters, he hit what was basically a t-shirt size target. dead center. Because he's a professional tank player. Not player, but, he was a professional tank gunner. The guns don't fire like trash except in this game. This is the only place on Earth the tank guns fire like trash. That's a scam. Just giving you the heads up. Now, let me show you. What do we have here? Hilarious. Advanced armor, because their armor is trash. You add advanced armor to get minus 5 damage. Minus 5% damage, okay? And let's go back to the commander, because this is where you see the cheats. Again, minus 5%. Fire prevention. Tanks don't catch fire. As a general rule, until they've either been blown up or are in the process of being blown up. That's when they catch fire. This is a scam. Pain tolerance. 20% less chance of crew injury. Again, when they're cheating you by injuring your crew or killing your crew on the first shot, which is hilarious when it happens. In fact, I had one that happened to me earlier today. Actually, it wasn't me. It was the robot on my team. He had full health, 3 dead crewmen, a KO'd gas tank, and a KO'd engine. They were red and full health. Now, you tell me how that happens if it isn't a scam. Like I said, once you see it, you can never unsee it. So you do these things. This is another great one, track mechanic. One time I was shot in my turret, on the top of my turret, and it blew out my tracks. Now, I'm not a professional tank engineer, but I didn't know that my tracks invisibly went across the top of my turret. But until I played this game, and then I found it out, and I was like, wow, that's really exciting. I didn't know that I had invisible tracks that go up on the top of my turret. So when they hit my top of my turret, it blows out my tracks. I thought that was really amazing. No, I didn't. I'm not an idiot, and neither are you. It's just that simple. This is the only game I've ever played where they make things intentionally trash so they can make you expend resources to make them less trashy. Run and gun. Add 10% accuracy to your driving. I'm like, really, dude? All of the stuff that you do to your tank is based upon them cheating you. Hey, if you like that, I say more power to you. And, that's great. I don't like that. So I call out criminal trash when I see it. Let's go look at the A32. This will be fantastic. Reload, aim, because their aim is a cheat. Born leader, because you need all the help you can get, etc. Turret rotation, to increase your turret speed. Fire, so that they don't cheat you in fire. Pain tolerance, so they don't cheat you by killing your crew. And that's what it is. Just call it what it is. So let's look at this guy, the tank. I want to look at the tank. That's what we'll look at. Here we go. Look at this. So we have here, what's the fire percentage? 8.81 chance of internal fire. Not today. Well, yes, today, in this game only. The only time or place on Earth is in this game where that would happen. So, if you're not taking care, if you're not, using fire prevention, you better use a fire extinguisher. Because what happened, however many months ago, fire wasn't a problem, and then bammo, update, I caught fire multiple times. What the hell? And it's been like that for months. Fire was an instituted cheat that they put on people. It forces you to waste resources, commander, skill, silver, to buy fire extinguishers, and crew consumable. I don't have room for that. I don't have room for that stuff. I have repair. I have rations to make my gun shoot decent. This is with rations to make this gun shoot .35. That's the accuracy, which is trash. No gun would fire that terrible. Sorry. I'm just keeping it real, as they say. So I have to have this. I can't replace this with a fire extinguisher. In a real tank, you wouldn't replace it. You would just have a fire extinguisher. It's just like no big deal. Okay. Gasoline to get extra speed and also extra turret rotation, because the turret rotation in this tank with gasoline is 55 almost. It's basically almost 50 without it. So it's things that they do that make this game, that make your tank intentionally inferior, so that to make it reasonable, you have to waste resources. If you don't think that's a scam, more power to you. I've seen the effect. So it's not a point of contention or debate. It's your opinion, and if you have a different opinion than me, more power to you. I know what is and is not true. You will at some point know what is and is not true, and if you can't handle that, that's your problem, not my problem. I'm not forced to live somebody else's fantasy. You know, if you think your tank catching on fire is a legitimate occurrence, you really don't know very much, and you need to educate yourself. And the sooner you get there, the better. But make sure you deal with it regardless of whatever your opinion is. I have to put fire prevention to stop it from happening, or to reduce its, frequency. It's horrible. You just don't see tanks catching fire anywhere except in this game. On a daily basis, repeatedly. The one thing that's hilarious, here's a classic one for you. Doesn't matter what the bad effect is. Crewman was died. You use a gold first aid to revive him. You get hit again, boom, the same guy goes down instantly. Or your tracks get blown out, you fix it, they go out again. All those repeat of the same thing is a giant megaphone of, we're cheating you, and you're an idiot if you can't see it. That's how I see it. Hey, if you agree with me, fine. If you don't agree with me, that's fine too. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm here to warn and explain this stuff to the regular guy who may not have enough experience to recognize the reality is it's completely unfair, and the things they're doing to you are unnatural. If you want to play, that's fine. I call it what it is. Don't have any kind of foolish belief to the contrary. So, I think I've done my job and explained to you, the basics of what's going on in this Super 10s event. If you want to play it, I wouldn't buy a tier 10 tank. I've bought one tier 10 tank, and that was the Iron Army. That's the only one I bought. Because it's Arnold, not because of anything else. And it's a decent tank. It plays solid. So that one's all right. But I wouldn't buy a tier 10 from these guys under any circumstances ever again. Let's see, tier 10s earned it. Bought it. Earned it. Ultimate Season Pass. Earned it. Ultimate Season Pass. Earned it. Season Pass. I believe this was an Ultimate Season Pass. Could have been regular season, I don't remember. Earned the Tusk contract. Ultimate Season Pass. So that's how I got my tier 10s. I only bought one, and I'll never buy another one. I don't care what the scenario is. Ain't happening. because you're not going to have very much fun in tier 10 in general, unless you're really good at a certain type of tank. Or in my case, I'm good enough, above average in a medium tank to have a medium Arnold tank, and it's a good tank. I'm an ace artillery. I'm an ace light tank player. And I'm a very, very good sniper. So, but I'm still not going to buy any of those because they're stupid. They're not worth it. I mean, they're okay like I said, in the Ultimate Season Pass. You get a commander and the tank, fantastic. That's always a good deal. You get to try it, for whatever. The other problem is you got a lot of people trying those out that have no clue what they're doing. They show up, they get instantly whacked, and just hope that you don't have 3 or 4 of those guys on your team. So that's the only negative. I don't, whine about these guys. They're doing whatever, blah, blah. Like, man, you play tier 10, expect brand new beginners in tier 10 season pass tanks to be in there. And don't expect that they're all good players. They shouldn't be there. Probably that's correct. But, that's why you can't play a steady diet of tier 10. Well, you can, but you better be a big expert on your tank. So that's the deal there. I hope that this helped you guys, especially newer players who have lesser experience. Tier 10 is overrated. You want to have fun. The fun in this game is primarily below tier 8 as a general rule. One of the exceptions is a tank that you really like. You like a Tiger tank or a Sherman tank, or one of those sniper tanks like the Slayer is a good one. Or, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I'm really good, and I mean really good, in my M3 Lee. I'm unnaturally good somehow. I don't know why, I just am, and that's the way it is. I'm not good in other tanks that are good because they don't fit my skills. So I don't play them. It's just that simple. So if you play something that's really up your alley, play that. But don't think that you're good at one tank or a certain type of tank, that infinitely transfers to other tanks. It does not. It can, you can be a really good medium tank player, and there's some medium tanks that just don't work for you because it doesn't match your style. It's no big deal, but just be aware of that. So I hope that this has helped you out. Hope you learn. Don't fall for the tier 10 propaganda or high tier propaganda, because you're going to get dragged into matches where you have no chance and you're not going to have any fun, and it's going to stink. You've been warned. So please leave a like if you would. Please tell your friends. That way they'll have a chance to leave a like and maybe even subscribe. I'm here to help people have fun and enjoy what they're doing. And this is one of those things that they forced me to do it with their Super 10 garbage. It's garbage. Play it if you want, if you have tier 10s, but I wouldn't buy any to play in there. You're not going to be happy, dude. Just letting you know. So, and if you're the exception to the rule where you did that and you are happy, awesome. Congratulations to you. But you're in the ultra rare percentage where that happens. I don't anticipate anything really good happening. I might play a couple with my friends just as a test, possibly for a YouTube video, but I don't enjoy tier 10s and I don't play them very often. So that's just the way it is. That's my opinion. If your opinion is different, more power to you. Doesn't bother me. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you guys the next day or two, whatever, in other videos. And I'll see you guys again. Thanks a lot.